This segment is sponsored by New Perspective Financial Solutions. Required minimum distributions, or RMDs, can have a major impact on taxes and income during retirement. Today, we're breaking down what they are and how to plan around them. Here to break it down for us is Tavon Jackson. Tavon is a financial advisor and the founder of New Perspective Financial Solutions, a DC-based firm that focuses on preparing people for retirement. And he's joined by Vanessa Patterson. Vanessa is a financial advisor and managing partner at New Perspective Financial Solutions. Welcome back. Great to see you both.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. All right, first off, can you explain what required minimum distributions are and why they're such a critical aspect of retirement planning?
Absolutely. So required minimum distributions, or RMDs, are what you have to take out of any pre-tax accounts starting at the age of 73, or if you were born 1960 or later, at the age of 75. Now, these pre-tax accounts can include traditional IRAs, 401ks, TSPs, etc. And that money has never been taxed because the idea is that it lowers your taxable income while you're working. It's growing tax deferred. So now eventually Uncle Sam, he's like, where is my money? Yeah. And that's why he makes you take out required minimum distributions every single year starting at that age. And so they're critical because if you don't take out the right amount, there's a 25% penalty. Also, if you haven't planned for them, that can push you into a higher tax bracket. And we don't want any tax surprises in retirement.
No, we do not. Tavon, let's talk about the big picture here. How can RMDs impact the retirement portfolio? I know you touched on that, but yeah.
She stole my answer, right? so it can have a huge impact.
Yeah.
And I like to think of RMDs kind of like that business partner. Let's say me and Vanessa were in business together. And, you know, I did all the work. I grew the business. I did everything. And then as soon as it's profitable, she wants a cut. That's kind of like how RMDs work. Like you've grown your money, you've dealt with the ups and downs, the stresses of the business in your retirement. But as soon as you turn 73, guess what? Uncle Sam wants their piece. And they didn't even do anything and they want their piece. So what my job is to help people navigate, you know, the RMDs, making sure they pay the least amount of tax as possible and that they keep the most of their nest egg for their retirement.
Got it. Okay. So, and then what tax implications do we need to be aware of? What can the RMDs mean for our tax bracket?
Yeah. So what's going to happen, I call it a 2-year rule. So whenever you take money out of a retirement account or you're forced to take it out with your RMDs, it's going to impact your Medicare Part B premiums 2 years later. So there's something called IRMA. Not your Aunt Irma, but it's a Medicare Part B.
Yeah.
And they look back 2 years at what you were making. So the more income you have coming in, that higher the Medicare Part B premium will be. And then also what people don't realize is that Social Security is also 100% tax-free. But what causes it to become taxable is all your other stuff. So when you have pensions and, you know, rental income, and then now you have this random RMD that came out, that might make 85% of your Social Security taxable. So you got to have a tax plan to go along with it.
Okay, yeah, because it's all interconnected, and if you don't know what you don't know, you can really find yourself in trouble down the road. Yes. Yeah, Vanessa, when it comes to RMDs, we're all trying to be proactive here. So what steps can people take to put themselves in the best possible position down the road?
Being proactive is so important. And one thing that you may want to consider is something called a Roth conversion. And you can do this in years where your income isn't as high or in that area of time where you're retired and you're not collecting Social Security yet. And what you do is you take any of that money that's in pre-tax accounts, pay the taxes now based on your tax bracket, and then that money goes into a Roth account and grows tax-free. And so that adds a tax diversification piece to your retirement portfolio. And so now you can have more control over what taxes you're going to pay in retirement. So you want to really plan early and really map out how those RMDs are going to look for your whole life.
Yeah, we want that.
And this is a huge opportunity for federal government workers right now because unfortunately, a lot of them are leaving, but the government is so backed up that they're not getting their income and their pensions for like 6 months.
Right.
So there's a chance where you can retire, have no income coming in, be in the 0% tax bracket, and then start paying taxes on your TSP and your 401k while you're waiting because you have no money. And no money is good for taxes because that means you don't pay any taxes.
There you go. Okay.
So that's something to consider as well.
You always have the best advice. All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. For you at home, if you want to make sure you're on the right track for retirement, New Perspective Financial Solutions has an offer for you. Tavon and Vanessa want to help preserve and continue to grow your money while also helping you create a reliable income stream. So right now, for the first 5 callers and anyone else with investable assets of $500,000 or more, they're offering a complimentary retirement income plan. This will allow their team to sit down with you personally or schedule a call to make sure you're on the right track for retirement. The number to dial is 240-335-8366. Again, that's 240-335-8366.